Good afternoon to all. Welcome to the today's session. Today we are going to discuss about the concept digital signatures. See, the digital signatures is the most important development work is done by public key cryptography. It use the message authentication also. So the message authentication protects two parties who exchange the messages from any third party. So when sender and a receiver take the help of the third party, if they send the information, then it protects. When a sender and receiver directly interact each other at that time, there is no protection. It doesn't provide any protection. So a digital signature is like a similar to the handwritten signature. How the handwritten signature is providing the security for you in your real life. Similarly, this digital signature is also helps to protect or to provide the security to for our online transactions. Like you take the banking example, to perform any kind of transaction through bank, that may be deposit or withdrawal or issuing the check for any purpose, there they will verify your signature. So if your signature matches, then they proceed with the that particular transaction. Otherwise, they will deny. Right? Similarly, this digital signature will provide a set of security capabilities where that would be difficult to implement in any other way. So by that we can get the security for our online transactions. So the digital signature, we must follow some properties. They are, it must verify the author, the date and time of the signature, and it must to authenticate the content at the time of signature. So whatever the content is there at the time of signature, the same has to be there. No additions or removal should be done. So it must be verified by the third party to resolve any disputes. If any disputes occur, that is taken care by the some X person. See, the digital function includes the message, includes the authentication function. Okay. See, there are variety of approaches has been proposed for this digital signature function. All these approaches are fallen into two categories. One is direct digital signature, another one is arbitrated digital signature. So what is direct digital signature? In the name itself it is there. The communication between the sender and receiver. Okay? According to the direct digital signature, both the parties need to trust each other and knows their public keys. It means, say for example, A, B. Now, if A wants to send some information to B or the B wants to send an information to A, first they should trust each other. Number one, and then they should know their public keys. What for? Say for example, when A wants to send some information to the B, A wants to send some information to the B, then what it do? It will perform the encryption by using the private key of A. Then it will send that information to B. So the B, if it wants to see that original message, then it has to perform the decryption by using the public key of A. By using the public key of A. So in this point, they should know the public key of the each other. Okay. See now, when A sends some data, then B can do then B can perform the decryption, then it will get that message. So similarly, if B wants to send the information to A, it will perform the encryption with the private key. Then A has to decrypt it by using the public key of B. So this is what, according to direct digital signature, both the parties should trust each other and knows their public keys. Okay. See, the messages are prone to get corrupted, and the sender can decline about the message sent by him anytime. So if any message is corrupted, then the sender declines that message by, by him at any time. See, this is the structure or a diagram representation for the direct digital signature. Here we can see only two parties are there. One is sender and another one is the receiver. The sender will send the data by performing the encryption. You can observe here he is performing the encryption by using the private key of sender. Just I have shown you an example. In between A and B I have shown you. So the message is encrypted. That encrypted message is sent to the receiver. Then the receiver, what he do? He'll perform the decryption process. He'll perform the decryption process on the encrypted message by using the public key of the sender. By using the public key of the sender. Okay, right. In this way, the sender and the receiver will interact each other, to send the information between. So they should trust each other. They should know the public keys of each other to have a communication between them. So that is the direct digital signature. And then arbitrated digital signature. So in these arbitrated digital signatures, we can see three parties. One is sender, second one is receiver, and the third person is we call arbiter. Okay. So this arbiter will become the medium for sender and receiver to send the message between them. So here the message are less prone to get the corrupted because of timestamp is being included by default. So along with the message, we are adding here the timestamp. Means the time will be mentioned, the transaction time will be mentioned to every message before transmitting it into the network. So what is happening by that? Because what is the purpose of that? So within a given time, if the data will not reach the destiny, then it will be declined. It won't consider that message. So see this arbitrary digital signature, you can observe here, X is the sender, okay, Y is receiver, and between these two, there is another party called arbitrary. So what is how the transaction is performing here, or how the communication is performing here, you can observe. See this. So X wants to send a message to Y. When it is sending a message, that you can observe here, it is mentioned the Y's ID. What is this? Destination ID is given. And then it was given the timestamp. So it will mention, based on the data, it will mention the time to reach the destiny. So that information is passed through the Z arbitrary party. So here it will check the ID and the timestamp, all the things. If it matches, it will sends to the destiny Y. So this is how the communication is done by the arbitrary digital signature. Okay, one is direct and another one is through third party. And the next concept is digital certification. So this digital certificate is issued by the third party. which provides the sender's identity to the receivers and the receiver's identity to the sender. So it will share the identities to each other. So this digital signature, this digital certificate is issued by the certificate authority to verify the identity of the certificate holder. Okay, and this certificate authority issues an encrypted digital certificate which contains the applicant's public key and a variety of other identification information. Okay, na? Right? In this digital signature is used to attach the public key with a particular individual or any entity. So when you are sending the data, when you are attaching all of these, then the security is provided at the destination side. They can easily get they can easily decrypt the information by using the public key which is attached, and they can get the original message. So what the digital certificate contains? It contains all of these: name of the certificate holder and the serial number, which we mentioned it is a unique to identify as a certificate. So the individual or the entity identified by the certificate, and it will be having the expiry date and a copy of certificate holder's public key. Just now I told you the public key is required, and the digital signature of the certificate issuing authority. Those who are issuing that, their signature is mandatory. So these are the things available in a digital certificate when it is issuing. So now we will see the difference between the digital certificate and the digital signature. See the definition of the digital signature. It is like a fingerprint or an attachment to the digital document which ensures its authenticity and integrity. In a digital certificate, it is a file that ensures the holder's identity and provides the security. And then the process or steps. The digital signature will provide the hash function, and after that we will get the hash value of the original message, and this was encrypted by the sender's secret key, and then it will generate the digital signature, wherein digital certificate, it is generated by the certifying authority. It involves 4 steps. One is key generation, registration, verification, and creation. Okay, and the security services. So these are the security services provided by the digital signature, that is authenticity of sender, integrity of the document, non-repudiation. And this digital certificate, which provides the security and authenticity of the certificate holder, a standard, you can see it follows the digital signature standard. So when we were discussing about the DSA, digital signature algorithm, so I told you first we have to understand the DSS, digital signature standard. So on that we were discussing the DSA, digital signature algorithm, and now this is digital signatures. Okay, so it follows the DSS, and here in the certificate authority, it follows X.509 standard format to provide the certification. So these are the differences between the digital signature and the digital certificate. Okay.